Hey guys, well, since I got my hands on all the data for the fantasy competition, I've just been poking around in it, exploring it, see what I can find out, and done up a few charts here that I thought I would share because I figured some of you guys might find it a bit interesting. Anyway, here in front of me right now, I've got all of the points scored in fantasy broken down by which position scored them. And as you can see up the top here, out in front of everybody else by a mile, we have the outside backs, 14,000 points, 22% of all points scored. By the way, guys, this just includes up to round 13. Don't have round 14's data in here yet, but in terms of the overall view of things, it doesn't make that much difference. And then, yeah, second, loose forward, 18.9%, and then just a huge amount of daylight till we get to third place where we got the centers, and all the way at the bottom we have fly halves and scrum halves. And yeah, look, this is kind of interesting in its own right, but some of you guys probably realize that yeah, like of course the outside backs and the loose forwards out in front, because we generally got three of them on the park at any one time, whereas for, you know, fly halves, scrum halves, hookers, there's generally only going to be one of them on the field at a time. And you would be exactly right, and that's all that this chart really shows us. That's why I've done up this chart here where we've normalized it as if there was just one of each position on the field at a time, and yeah, it just drastically changes the picture. Now we have hookers as the number one MVP slot by quite a margin, right? 6,400 points per slot. And then after them, we have the fly halves and the outside backs pretty much tied neck and neck, 4,600 points a slot each as well, which I thought was kind of interesting, right? Like you'd still think the outside backs probably would be up there because they score all those points, but I mean, I guess when you think about it with the fly halves, like you got D-Mac in there, he spends a lot of time at fullback anyway, and there's a few other players like that as well, and of course they get to take those shots at goal, so as long as their team is doing well, scoring points, getting awarded penalties, they just get that little bit of extra income coming in from that. And that's kind of the story with the hookers as well, right? Like it's not at all surprising to see them up here because yeah, they constantly get those passive points whenever scrums happen, whenever lineouts happen, and they get those tries off the back of the maul as well. That's what really puts them out in front. But then in fourth place, a little bit behind the fly halves and outside backs, we got the scrum halves, then the centers and the loose forwards all the way down here, basically tied with the centers, right? Like yeah, turns out your loose forward and your center, they're worth about the same, basically, at least on a averaged out basis, right? This is averaged out across the entire player base for each of these positions. And then at the bottom we have props and then the locks. Quite a bit of daylight actually between the props and the locks all the way at the bottom. And I mean, that I wouldn't say it surprised me, but I didn't think there would be that much disparity between these two positions. I mean, last year when we were playing fantasy, I'd always say with props and locks, it's sort of like it's much of a muchness, right? This year it's felt a little bit different. It has felt a bit more like locks are a bit more valuable than the props, and I think the reason that is because in some positions, in some positional categories, things are just a little bit top heavy, right? Like when we look at the locks that we like to pick a lot this year, Derns, Jeremy Williams, Derry, like a lot of these guys, they're getting even Lucky Shaw, like they're getting line out steals, even tries here and there, right? So so yeah, that really got me thinking about how top heavy are all of these positions. When I started looking into that, that's how I came up with this chart. This compares the top 10% of every position and just looks at their points and looks at what proportion their points are of the entire scoring base for that position, right? And yeah, it's kind of interesting. This isn't a perfect measure for looking at this type of thing for various reasons, but it's something I could do quickly, and it's kind of close enough. And at the top, we have the scrum halves, where the top 4 scrum halves, they've got a third of all of the points in the category. And I definitely wasn't surprised to see scrum half at the top, because when you think about it, you got guys like Roy Gard, Noah Hotham, who isn't very far behind him. You got Lonergan there, who gets to take shots at goal. So yeah, it just makes perfect sense that this is a pretty top-heavy position. And then after that, not too far behind, mind you, we've got the centers. And yeah, you think about that again, right? Like we got Billy Proctor, Whaingata Nuku, we got Quinn Tupaya, Tava Nawa's in there, like Barrett's not far behind. Like we've at the top of the center, we've just got some really serious players, right? There's a lot of competition in that spot. So yeah, makes perfect sense that this one's quite top heavy relative to the rest. Then with the fly halves, pretty much the same. And just thinking about that, like you got D-Mac there, right? And D-Mac kind of just, because he spends so much time playing at fullback, and he just kind of carves it up, and he gets to take the shots at goal. It makes sense that it's a bit skewed up there. But then things start falling off a bit, right? We got the hookers at 27%, and it's the same thing again. Like there's pretty much only 3 or 4 guys we look at in fantasy when we go to the hookers, and you think about guys like Taukiaho. Like there's just a few guys there that they're in teams with strong mauls, and they can really just farm that for points, right? Whereas hookers and other teams, yeah, they don't have those dominant mauls. And then yeah, there's a bit of daylight, right? We've got the locks at 25%, outside backs at 24%, and then the props, and then the loose forwards. And I mean, yeah, like I was talking about the locks and the props before, right? And yeah, I think with the locks, what's happening is that the ones who are, the reason it's kind of top heavy, the ones who we like picking a lot at fantasy, they're the ones who actually get a lot of line out steals, right? Because you get 5 points for a line out steal. And for a position like lock, where you're really not getting a lot of points, right? Like you don't get a lot out of lineouts. You're not more likely to score tries than anyone else, really. Like you're kind of just relying on your basic stats, your tackles, and whatever you can do on and off the ball around the park, like that everyone else has access to. But the lineout steals, that is the one thing you can do in that position in fantasy to really get a few points and separate yourself from the pack. And yeah, when we look at the top locks, it's guys like Dearns, Jeremy Williams. These are the guys who are leading in line-out steals by quite a lot. So yeah, definitely makes sense to me that lock is a bit top heavy, at least compared to prop, right? And prop and loose forwards, they're all the way at the bottom in terms of top heaviness. And I mean, with prop, it kind of just makes a lot of sense, right? Because they get a lot of their points from scrums, and you can't, as a player, you can't really control how many scrums you're going to be in, right? Like it depends on the rest of the team. So, and the other team as well. So there's just, there's not a lot of control you have over that. And beyond that, you're sort of just like the locks, where it's about what you can do around the park that every other position can do as well, right? In terms of scoring points in fantasy. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. Loose forwards, definitely kind of surprised to see that. But now that I think about it, like, I mean, apart from Charlie Cale, it has kind of been a bit of a flat position this year, right? Like, Charlie Cale was sort of tearing it up, getting heaps of tries, but then he got injured. And then, you know, we've had guys like Lakai, but other than that, the points, yeah, there's been no one really absolutely tearing it up in that position to make it top heavy. And lastly, guys, I'll just leave you with this one. This is the fantasy point economy up to and including round 13, and it's just a breakdown of how the points were assigned and pretty much every single category, right? And yeah, if you start at the bottom, you can see by far and away most points are awarded just for tackles. 19,000 points. It'll be 20,000 once round 14 is done. And yeah, that just makes perfect sense, right? One tackle, 1 point. Of course, it's going to be the number one category by far. Everyone has to do them. But then after that, second place, 10% of all the fantasy points scored. It's just from tries scored alone, right? Just pure getting that ball over the line. And yeah, 15 points is a lot for one action in this game. So yeah, it makes perfect sense to see this here. Then after that, you got a few more attacking stats, right? Line breaks, kind of the same thing, right? You get those 9 points. Defenders beaten, you get 2 points for that. Was kind of surprised to see it this high, but again, it's just something that everyone sort of can get a bit of, right? And a few guys a lot. Meters gained, kind of surprised to see this one adds up so much, but well, it does actually make sense, I guess, the more I think about it. Scrums won 4,400 points, and that's quite a lot, but it makes sense, right? When you think about it, every scrum, there's 18 points awarded, right? 9 points to each front row in the scrum, 3 points to each player in the scrum. That's quite a lot just for one thing that happens. And then we got the line break assists, turnovers 1, line out throws 1. I believe this line out throws 1 is net, as in I already subtracted the minus points for line out errors. So this bar would be a bit higher otherwise. Done the same thing, I think, with penalty goals and conversions. Yeah, see, they say net. So that means that there would be more points, but I've already subtracted the negatives you get for missing them. This chart is a little bit loose, guys, but yeah, it definitely gives you the picture. And another thing to think about is, wow, like these tries, I mean, it's very much linked to try assist, right? Like whenever you get a try, often there's a try assist, and whenever you get a try, often there's a line break involved as well, right? Which means there's a line break assist, and on the way you might be getting like 1 or 2 defenders beaten as well. So it's this whole try scoring causal chain that really leads to a lot of points, because it very tightly links together all of those categories. And you can see it, right? Like if you stack these all up, tries and your try assists, or your line breaks with your line break assists, a couple of defenders beaten, right? Like you sort of stack these together, you really get to see that yeah, just those try scoring phases of play are where all the points come in, and it would add up to more than tackles as well. And that's just one of those things I've always said about this game, right? You got to think about it from the perspective of what's going to happen in the match, where are the tries going to be scored, and are they going to be like these line breaks and that sort of thing, or is it going to be like a forwards grind type of try scoring type of actions in that game? But anyway, guys, I've definitely got a lot more insights out of this data, but I don't want to drag this video out too much longer. So I'll leave you guys with this chart, and I don't know if people are interested in this type of thing. Let me know. I've sort of been breaking it down even more in terms of what's happening in each position. How is each position getting awarded their fantasy points, and what does the breakdown of those points look like, and what is the difference between the top players and where they get awarded their points in each position, and what's the difference between them and the rest of the players in the position, the average player in that position. So so let me know if that's something that would be interesting for you guys to see, I'll be happy to share it with more charts like this. But until then, have a good one, and I'll see you later.